I was lucky enough to attend the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice fan screening type of thing a few days early, so now I get to talk about it before a lot of people see it, and that's really exciting and really weird. I will not be spoiling anything in this video at all. I will be making a spoiler-filled video later on. Avoid spoilers because it is worth it. There's a lot of crazy surprises here. Now, first things first. Ooh, this is gonna be a long one. The first thing I need to get out of the way, some of you may not know this, but Man of Steel. I really like Man of Steel. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people hate me for liking it. But I understand its flaws. It has some very embarrassing things in it. But overall, I think it's a fun movie. I liked what they were going for. So I just think you guys need to know that from my perspective, looking at Batman v Superman. Now, for those of you who didn't like Man of Steel, does Batman v Superman right the wrongs of Man of Steel? In some ways, yes, almost just by completely erasing Superman. Now, I am so 50-50 with this movie. This movie does a lot of things right. It's really exciting. And then there are some things where I just don't... Here's the thing, though. The things that it doesn't do anything necessarily bad. It's just lacking things. For me, I didn't feel for certain characters. I didn't really care for Superman, who I grew to kind of like at least know and kind of get where he's coming from in Man of Steel, completely got kicked to the side. As much as Zack Snyder will try and tell you, this is not a Superman movie at all. Thankfully, though, as a diehard Batman fan, I'm very happy they focused on Batman, and I think they did Batman pretty well. I think Ben Affleck did a good job. It feels very different. This is a completely different feeling Batman. I almost didn't get the emotion that I usually get from seeing Batman on screen, but this is very much a comic book Batman. And he's deeply troubled. He's got a lot of issues. He's got a lot of anger. He's probably the only character with real complex nuances to him in this movie. I like to think that's Ben Affleck, you know, good job, Benny boy. But I like what they did here with the whole Batman thing. They took him and made him very sad, mysterious, and somber. Just the whole Batman side, the music, anytime he had a scene, it was just very creepy and dour and sad, and I really like that. Now, this whole movie takes itself incredibly seriously, more serious than Man of Steel, and you're gonna either love that or hate that. I thought it was okay. This movie is going full whatever it's trying to do, and when it embraced some comic book aspects, I really enjoyed that. Now, I can say that every once in a while, this movie does a wacky thing, almost crazy and shocking things that really make it feel like a crazy DC comic book movie thing. And I think that's good, and I think ultimately DC fans, big old huge DC fans, are gonna find a lot to get excited over here, because there is so much world building, and while, you know, some of it is not really the best way they could have done it, I guess it's the best way they could have done it in such a short period of time. The next movie is a Justice League movie, so they have to establish all these people real quick. Honestly, for me though, Wonder Woman stole the show. I really liked her. She had like this like mysterious femme fatale thing to her, and the way her and Batman interacted, I really enjoyed that. But talking about Man of Steel, now it is just basically, it's a complete direct sequel to Man of Steel. So you're gonna either love that and hate that. But in some ways, in terms of a movie, it feels cleaned up and a little better than Man of Steel in some ways. It's almost like Man of Steel, but like with the gross fat trimmed off. It's leaner, you know? Despite that, Lois Lane is still in it way too much, and Amy Adams is really annoying. I don't like her character, the way she happens to show up everywhere in every single plot point. It's really annoying. And also, it was very cool setting up the destruction from the last movie having ramifications in this movie, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. And if you were one of the type of people who thought Man of Steel was a bad movie because of how Superman knocked down a bunch of buildings and killed a lot of people, oh boy, you better be fucking prepared for this movie, because a lot more people die and blow up. Speaking of, I think Batman kills people in this movie. So that's a thing. It's kind of like an Arkham Knight situation where it's like he has a Batmobile that blows up cars filled with people, and it's like, what? So the movie is gorgeous, I will say that. Like, it has some really great imagery, especially Wayne Manor, some of that flashback stuff, the Superman stuff, the music, the score. The score is really great, especially Lex Luthor's theme, which I think they fucked up. That actually should have been the Batman music. It's just so memorable. But it's all very good. And ultimately, the Batman versus Superman part, they nailed it. It was a good fight. Some of the reasons why they're fighting some people might find a little dumb. But ultimately, it was good and enjoyable and satisfying, and like you really get why Batman's doing it more than anybody. Like I said earlier, he's deeply troubled. He's got some issues. He's angry. He's pent up, and he has reasons. And I like that. His character was the only one I understood where he was coming from and doing anything. That's the problem here. I didn't feel a lot of emotion. I didn't really care when a lot of things happened because there's so much going on. There's so many characters. There's so much time spent on things I don't really care about, like the Daily Planet, that when stuff happens to some of these characters, like, you know, I didn't care. I could barely care less what happened to Superman, because as much as it was good I had gotten to know him in the last movie, he was barely here, and it just didn't really do it for me. But there are just some outright bizarre places to where this plot goes, little things that pop up that are really crazy and out there for some people, but probably awesome for DC fans, especially just the Batman moments. Batman does get a few great Batman moments, and those were really satisfying. And the big fight at the end that you guys have probably seen teased in the trailer is not as awful as the trailers lead you to believe. It's a good fight. Yes, there's a lot of special effects and it's detached and everything, but everything kind of seems like it matters. Every hit actually matters. It doesn't feel like a big Dragon Ball Z fight, you know, which I liked personally, but this is cool. Especially in the fight and just all our scenes. It's still, I still say, Wonder Woman stole the show here. So there's a lot going on in this movie, and I think ultimately if you take it as just a big, fun popcorn movie with elements of it actually being beautiful, I think that's the best way to go about it. Every once in a while, there is a real twinkle of something more than just a popcorn movie, you know, Batman moments. Some musical cues used in the story are excellent. I don't want to spoil anything. And there is an ending that, yes, sets the stage for the next movie, but it kind of does something super ballsy and awesome and different, but it doesn't totally commit to it, and that was a little bit disappointing. But I gotta say, I think it is very exciting. I do think, as much as it might not be a completely clean sweep, they pulled it off. They made a cool movie that is gonna kind of establish a DC movie universe franchise. And for some people who are really excited and looking forward to that, you've got it. Sure, it's gonna be dumber and bigger and louder and broodier than Marvel, but it's its own thing, and I think some people are gonna really like it. I cannot wait to see this movie again because it is just so dense and jam-packed. There's a lot to process, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of references, a lot of things to process just with the plot and where everything is going, and visually, there's a lot. But Batman v Superman is a good time, and like I said, I've been saying this all along, if you are the type of person that just roots for this movie to be bad, that's super lame. Why would you not want a movie called Batman v Superman to be awesome? So go see it, give it a chance. You might like it, you might not, but at least you get to see Batman and Superman fight. Thank you guys so much for checking out this super ultra long video, but I really do appreciate it. I've been wanting to talk about this movie. I am looking forward to hearing about you guys down in the comments, what you guys think. Also, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, all those places, I'm over there. And like I said, keep your eyes out for a spoiler-filled video and maybe a Daredevil video down the line, and then back to video games. But you guys know the drill. As always, I'm Jake Baldino. You can like me on Facebook, you can yell at me on Twitter, and you can subscribe because video games.